you like to introduce Betty White Trash? Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yeah, I am Betty White Trash, and I skate with Arch Rival Roller Derby here in St. Louis.
Awesome. So when did you fall head over skates for roller derby?
Well, I was first introduced to roller derby in around 2009 when I went to see my cousin play. And I absolutely fell in love with the energy and the crowd and just being in that entire atmosphere. I did not start skating until 2018. So that was a long time before I decided that I was going to try it out for myself.
And how did you come up with your alter ego?
So I was one of the oldest on the team. And so I wanted a name that reflected that because I was actually very proud of starting at such a late age. And also, the part of St. Louis where I am from is it's kind of a joke, and we call ourselves the Southside Hoosiers, which in St. Louis, Hoosier is not a good word. So Hoosier is the equivalent of white trash. So that's how I came up with that.
Oh, that's cool. It's cultural, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
can you tell me a little bit about your first date with derby, whether it be like your first practice, your first bout, or a little or about both?
So let's see, what do I want to consider my first date? I guess I'll talk about my first scrimmage.
Okay.
I had been I had been practicing for a while, and it came time to do our first scrimmage, and I was extremely nervous. For one thing, I'm a newbie at 45 years old, getting out on the rink with the team that I think at the time they were ranked number 4 in the world. So I was extremely nervous about getting out there. I had so much fun. It was unbelievably fun. I completely lost all of my fears once I got out there. And I just remember coming home and my husband saying, "So, how did it go?" And I said, "It was so much fun. I can't wait to do that again." So I
It's
think scrimmage was my first romantic date.
so how does derby make you feel?
Derby makes me feel like a badass, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I've really never been an athletic person. I always was into dancing when I was growing up and in my young adult and 20s. So I was never really athletic. When I started with roller derby, first of all, my friends and family just thought I was nuts. They could not believe that I was doing it. But it felt empowering to get out there and get knocked down and try to knock other people down. And the confidence that I got from that spilled over to my personal life too, with my relationship. And I'm a business owner. And so it really just gave me a ton of confidence.
Hmm. Yes, it does. Do you remember the first gear that you used when you first started derby?
I'm pretty much using, well, I have the same skates, which I bought used. I think I got all of my gear used, honestly. All of my gear is used. I didn't have anything that was new. And so it's all been well loved, and it's kind of tattered and torn and makes me feel even more badass.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love asking that question because it's like when you really want to do something like this, and people are so supportive. They're like, I have this, or you'll skate in anything. You just want to do it. You're just like, I just want to
Absolutely.
skate. Have you ever had any
Keep
derby
feeding that
injuries?
hand. Absolutely.
Have you ever had any
Keep
derby? I
feeding that
know
hand. Derby injury.
yes.
So, yes, I have. And it's kind of funny because I am actually a physical therapist assistant. So I'm very scared of getting injured. But I did have a very minor ACL strain, and then I think I've had a concussion at least twice. But that's it. I haven't broken anything, and nothing that's really kept me off the rink for too long.
So has roller derby ever broken your heart?
Yeah, there's so many times that I've left practice in tears and been like, I can't believe I'm paying to do this and subject myself to this.
Gosh,
um,
it's so
and it's
true.
mostly, I have to admit that it's mostly me and my insecurities. It's not so much that roller derby let me down, so much as the my inner voice is pulling me down. So I
What
came
about,
back to Derby because it wasn't Derby's fault. It was my head, and I had to get my head straight.
and isn't that like that in like almost every relationship where it's us in our heads? You know what I mean? Like just not feeling like worthy or good enough or not being patient with
Exactly.
ourselves and thinking that other people are thinking something that they're probably not, you know, it's just so yeah, I mean that's a really great answer because I don't think anybody has actually said that yet, you know. Um, yeah, there's a beautiful that's a beautiful answer. And that this is what people need to hear because it is. It just, you know, it's true. Like a lot of the time we feel we leave practice heartbroken because of ourselves, because we feel defeated. We feel like we didn't get it that day. We talked about how derby makes you feel. But what were you actually looking for when you decided to get into a relationship with roller derby?
Well, like I had said, I started later in life. I was 45 when I started. Um, Prior to starting roller derby, I had had 4 broken bones in 6 years, and it was just by doing something mundane. It was nothing innocuous that made me break my bones. It was just me living my life and just happened to break bones 4 different times. I kind of became a joke with my family and friends, and oh, look out for her. She's getting elderly, and got to make sure that this place is safe for her to walk around.
Oh my
So I
God.
guess I was looking to prove something. I don't know if you, some people might call it a midlife crisis, but I don't really like the word crisis. So maybe it was like a me having a midlife introspection. But I guess I was trying to prove to myself and to everyone else that I'm not done yet. Don't count me out. I'm still here and I'm still kicking, and
Yeah.
don't mess with me.
Yeah. I'm not fragile. I'm not as fragile as you think I am, you know?
Yeah.
Like, good for you. Has there ever been a time, because we know, like, once you fall in love with Derby, it's like this growing obsession, you know, just with any like romance. But did you ever find a time where it was just out of control and there was no balance?
I guess the time that it's been out of control is when I was trying to pass my mins so that I could actually play, and I was going to practice pretty much every practice that they were having. I was showing up for, even though my body was saying, "Hey, I didn't have enough rest. Take a break." I was still going and still pushing and getting in my head too much, and that that was a moment when I really had to step back and say, "This is crazy. This is a hobby. You can't do this to yourself."
Yeah. What have been some of the obstacles that, you know, have gotten in between you and Derby?
I think the biggest obstacle is the mom guilt that I have, that I'm spending time and energy and money on myself and not on my family. And that mom guilt is a serious thing. It really does exist, and it really can be hard to get over. Um, I think that's been the number one obstacle. The number two obstacle for me was feeling ashamed for my age and feeling like it's going to be an issue. And the one thing that I found was that my age was only an issue for me. None of my teammates knew how old I was, and none of them cared how old I was. So I really had to get over that myself. It had nothing to do with the sport or with my teammates.
I'm one of the oldest on my team as well. Like I think there's like three of us that are in our 40s or whatnot, you know. So we're all about the same age, but like, you know, between 41 and 45, there's like a few of us in between there. And I feel like we're a little different, you know what I mean? We're a little more like, I'm not really gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna do
Yes.
that. Like, I'm gonna play for fun where I wouldn't play for, I mean, I wanna win, but I also, like you said earlier, this is also fun for me. Where when I started in my 30s, and I did start in my 30s, and I had a 9-month old, and I had just, you know, I didn't have any friends. I felt very lonely. I was a single mom. And I also needed to feel strong again because I had gone through so much, you know, and I just needed a community. And I did play sports in high school. So I thought, like, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like, I take my baby in his car seat and girls who weren't playing. I mean, I knew it, El Paso is like a big little city where we all kind of know each other or whatever. And my friend who had invited me, so my son would be in his car seat, and you know, whoever was watching would watch my son while I would skate, you know, and I would bring him, and it was like, you know, crazy. But also what you're saying, like when my kids started playing their own sports, and they were same days that was practice. It's like, okay, is it time for me to give up roller derby and just live my life for my kids? Or do we compromise where I can go to your practices on Monday and I can drop you off on Wednesday, but that's the day I practice. So I'll drop you off, and then maybe your dad can watch you that day because I still need to do me. There's still stuff that I need to do for me, you know, and feeling.
Good for you, because a lot of moms of littles don't understand that.
I
They
just,
give
you
up
know,
everything.
I yeah, I mean, and it's and I so I understand that guilt, and I know a lot of moms out there probably do, and I would get pressure from, you know, maybe even like my kids or their dads, you know, or you know, I am a single mom, but it's like, why don't I do certain things that other moms do? And it's like, well, I I don't know, but I just feel like I'm not gonna all, you know, they're gonna have their own life one day. And I guess I had that conversation with my son. Why do you do it? Is it to make me happy or is it to make you happy? Because when you guys were babies, I skated for me. Nobody was watching my games. Nobody was watching my bouts. You guys were, you know, with your dads or whatever. And you know, I have my own, like my family, you know, I don't have family here, you know, so it was like I skated for me. So who are you doing it for? Does it matter if I like it or not? You know, or are you doing it for you? I do it for me, mom. And I'm like, all right then. You know, if I'm there, cool. If I'm not, I'm already proud of you. There's nothing that you can do that's going to make me more proud of you. You're amazing. And I know,
Great. That's a great way of saying it.
yeah, like, so whether I'm there or not, I know you're kicking butt because you are a badass and I am too.
Yeah.
So like I respect your sport and I'll be there when I can and just respect my sport too, you know? And so we have that. And I think that it gives me balance where I don't feel like I had to give up everything because now my kids want to do stuff. Like now they respect that I want to do stuff too. You know what I mean? And so we all kind of just
Right.
encourage each other's projects.
At one point, my son did say, "Why can't you be like other moms?"
Yeah, I
And
hear that.
I had to explain to him, "Sorry, bud, you didn't get a normal mom or an average mom." But so the thing that finally pushed me over the edge to actually join the league was that my daughter was playing on the junior roller derby team. And now she has aged out of junior roller derby, and she's actually my teammate now in the league. So we get to have that kind of quality time together.
Yes, my kids were always in skates. My daughter, she loves to skate. She looks like she's like 13, but she's only 10. But it's something that like maybe they fought me for in the beginning, but now we can do this together. I always would, they know how to skate. My son skateboards now, but my daughter and me will skate and we can go to the skate park together. And, something that I guess seemed toxic for a little while, because it was breaking up some of my, relationships and stuff like that, has actually been the glue that we can like bond with. You know what I mean?
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. It's just been,
I also think it's important for kids to see that their moms have a life outside of them, and they have wants and needs and hobbies and likes and dislikes, and their life doesn't revolve around their kids. So,
yeah. And, now that my son is like 13 and older, and his friends see that what I do, because he just grew up he not knowing who I was. That's just mom. That's what she does. Because he was 9 months
right,
when it started, and so they're like, "Dude, that's your mom," So now he's like, everybody says I have like the coolest mom, and I'm like, "Yeah, nobody, I'm mean and blah blah, blah," But yeah, they appreciate it later. You just have to keep being you, and my
yes,
daughter used to be like, "How come you always have short hair?" So I started letting my hair grow, and now she has short hair. And I was like, "Because why can't you have hair like other moms?" And I'm like, "I'm a hairdresser." And I'm like, "Because I can't have hair like other moms." Like, it's just, it's so funny. But then they learn to appreciate you and respect it and look up to you. And
right. I agree.
so, have you and roller derby ever broken up?
No, we have not. And I've had a lot of friends in the league that have retired. When I first started, I was not the oldest, but then everyone that was older than me retired. So then I ended up being the oldest. And I thought, I'm just not ready to retire yet. I'm not ready to break up and give it up. There's so much up in the air, and I'm hoping to be able to return and not have to retire. But yeah, I'm not getting any younger, so
Honestly, at 42, I'll be 43 this year. I'm thinking the same thing. I've been doing derby. I did renegade till like 3 years ago. I did stop for 2 years and ref when I was doing a group when I was in Celebrate Recovery. I could only make one practice a week, so I was just refing. And but yeah, I did so many years of renegade, that like I just, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm staying in shape. My next goal is to do half an Ironman before I'm 45. So I'm actually going to do half an Ironman in 2022. Yeah. So, but I
good for
still
you.
want to do derby.
Good for you. Yeah, I think the only way I would break up with Derby is if my body just couldn't take it anymore. But I think if I did end up breaking up with Derby, I would find something else.
For sure.
Ballroom dancing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I started rock climbing, so maybe I'll do that. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I was listening to Joe Rogan, I rock climbing. And that's what I say about like people who don't do derby that want to watch my podcast, but they think that they're not going to get anything out of it. I'm like, I listen to other athletes. It doesn't matter what they do, and I'm inspired, and I don't do that sport. Like, why would you think that you can't get something out of my podcast? You know what I mean? But whatever. I'm like, fine. But yeah, rock climbing is, I watched the free, what is it called? Where they free climb, where they don't use rope.
Oh,
It was like
yeah,
a,
I would never. No way I could do that.
yeah, but oh my gosh. I mean, to live on the rock like that, I mean, it's super. I live in El Paso, so there's like mountains and rocks everywhere. There's no like grass, very, very little trees. And so I have like a plethora of rocks that I could totally climb and I want to, but I don't know where to. So we have, yeah, we have like mountain biking and rock climbing we definitely have here. But I don't know enough
No,
people.
we just did indoor rock climbing, not an actual mountain, just the
Ah,
indoor thing where it's nice and safe and there's gear, there's other people there. So
what has been your worst derby moment?
I don't know that I've had a worse derby moment, honestly. Anything that's been really horrible has been because I got inside of my own head. I guess I haven't had anything that was really terrible. I'm going to get knocked down and get hurt, so that's not a bad moment. I guess it's just me feeling insecure and disappointed in myself when, especially when I was trying to pass the 27.5. I think that was probably it.
What's been your best derby moment?
My best dirty moment. I don't know. I guess there was there's a couple little things that I can remember in games where I thought, oh, that was really good. I did very well with that one. Um, and I kind of hang on to those and keep those in my head. Uh, there was one particular game when I just did excellent with the one-on-one blocking. Was very proud of myself for that. I guess I guess that's it.
Oh yeah, I mean, best moments happen all the time, and it's what keeps us wanting to keep doing it. They accumulate. You're like, that was really awesome. That jam was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
E- Even when you have a good game, but you lost, like the actual team lost, but you're like, I had a really good game. Like,
Right, right. Like I don't really think that we even care if we ever lose. We're just having so much fun and so excited for each other. Um, there was one game in particular that we traveled for, and the floor was like molasses. It was so sticky. And even though we had our hardest wheels on, we absolutely just could not move on this floor. But the team that we were playing against was used to playing on the floor.
right, yeah.
Also, we found out on our way to the venue that neither of our coaches were going to be able to make it, so we had to coach ourselves. We lost terribly. We lost so horribly. This I'm talking about the C team that I was on. We lost terribly to the other team, but it was probably the most fun that we have had. We just went out there and gave it our all and danced along with the songs and got along with the other team so great. And it was a great time.
Mm, yes. That's awesome. And it's wild. Like, you don't know unless you've skated there before. I know there's been times where we've gone out of town and they're like, what do they skate on? Blah blah blah, where these wheels, where those. And me being new to Wifta and traveling, it was just scary. Like I skated against the same girls, same three teams, for years, 6, 7 years, um, until so when I started traveling and I didn't know what other women or players were capable of, it was new to me. I didn't start just playing against people that I didn't know. So I was just like, oh my gosh. It was like a brand new, like a new relationship, like a whole new everything,
Right. Yeah.
and so but I've gotten used to it a little bit, and it's fun. I really love the derby community. So
Yeah.
I love meeting other skaters, and I can actually meet so many skaters this way. So it's just like super cool for me to be able to do these interviews because
Oh, I bet.
It's like I get to travel and meet new skaters, but I here at home.
Yeah.
And that's my next question, actually. So, how do you feel about the Derby community and your extended family?
Extended family is a really good way of putting it. The support within the Derby community is absolutely amazing. I was so intimidated when I first started, when I first joined Derby, but I cannot get over how nice everybody was. Here, all these skaters are going out on the track and knocking each other down and really getting brutal sometimes, but then just turn around and be the nicest group of people. And the amount of support that's out there, it's just amazing. I've honestly really never experienced anything like it. We get together outside of roller derby. We do things like get together and have clothing swaps and go plant shopping together. And tomorrow we're going to a yoga class together. So it's so amazing. Oh, I can't even put it into words.
It's very supportive. It really is. I
Very
mean,
much.
and the sad thing is that not everybody has that experience. And there's been some people that do come from, I've read articles when I was writing my Derby romance, and I was like, why am I doing this? Nobody wants to hear this. I remember somebody putting on our Derby chat an article about a girl who had gotten bullied for like 3 or 5 years. I don't remember what league she was from. It was like, I don't know where she found this article, but it was so sad because she thought that that was Derby, that she needed to toughen up Buttercup because it was Derby. And it's like, no, mamita, you know what I mean? You don't. Like, that's not the point of it. Yes, we push each other. Yes, we fall, but it should be I think I read a meme one time that said it's a sport where we'll push you until you push back and then congratulate you like, yes, dude, do that, and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but it's not supposed to, we're not bullying you. It's no, it's not supposed to be that. So for
Well,
years.
I think I've heard stories of some some horror stories that are out there, and I kind of think it's very important that you have a great supportive league that is diverse and you lets you have a voice within that league. Also, I was extremely lucky with the league that I happened to be a part of.
Same. Yeah, and you need a good board. It starts with the board, it starts with the leaders,
Yes,
and but yes, yes, we are very blessed. And I always say this for people that are watching, if you're not with a league that is supported, that doesn't sound like what we're talking about right here, then you might want to look for another league because it's not, Derby's not that. You shouldn't
yes.
feel bullied in roller derby. Um, so we also talked about what you were looking for when you joined Derby and how Derby makes you feel. Um, so did you find what you were looking for in Derby?
I really did. And I think that's why I'm not ready to give it up or retire is that I found what I was looking for and then some. And I'm very happy with it. Yeah, I get hurt sometimes, but I kind of wear those bruises as like a badge of honor. And I am very happy that I ended up joining roller derby. I wish I would have done it sooner.
So with all that it does for you and for us, how are you coping with the pandemic and not being able to skate during this time?
I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of anxiety about it. Besides not having my outlet of letting off steam, I am very worried. Am I going to be able to go back to it? Am I going to be able to get back onto skates and do what I need to do? Am I going to forget everything? And I realize that we're all kind of in the same, I don't want to say same boat, but we're all kind of in the same situation of not being able to get out there and skate. I've been keeping up with my off skates workouts, but I don't really have a space to be practicing on skate. So I do have a lot of anxiety surrounding it. One of the things that I've been doing to try to get over all that anxiety is just opening up to some of my teammates and talking to them about it. And knowing that they have the same anxieties is actually kind of comforting to me. Like, I don't want somebody to be anxious, but it's comforting to know that I'm not the only one that's feeling that way.
You don't feel alone, you know?
Yeah.
And you're not. And that's another reason why I do these, so that other skaters can hear other skaters talk about this. You know, we're not able to skate. Not everybody is. Some people are starting, which is beautiful. You know, to be able, like, I can't do derby right now. What's you know, freight train doing during this time? What's, you know, I Shove Lucy doing during this time in Louisiana? What's, you know, and so we can watch these videos and, you know, talk about derby and remember why we love it, and, you know, and how, and what we're going to do when we go back, and, you know, it just, you know, keep us still supporting each other, you know. And even though you can't go and talk to like the whole community, hopefully people who watch this video will feel less alone, because they know that they're not alone because of the answers you've given, you know, about all these subjects, right?
Right.
So do you have any words of encouragement for skaters that will be watching this during this time?
I mean, I know people say this all the time, but I really truly mean this. If I can do this, anybody can do it. So don't, if you have always wanted to get into roller derby and something was holding you back, don't let it. Just give it a try at least, because you may just find out that it was exactly what you were looking for the whole time. The worst that will happen is that you'll end up meeting some really cool people, and the best that will happen is that you find your new the new love of your life. So don't let it hold you back.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and being on the show. And
Thank you for asking me.
absolutely, absolutely.